going to ask that all the firefighters come over and make a sea of blue right over here. All firefighters. So behind the honor guard, facing this way. So if you're a firefighter, EMS, or law enforcement, please join us over here for our sea of blue. Good morning.
Good morning.
We'd like to welcome you to a tribute to Patriots Day. This is the official day that President Bush signed into law be recognized for our experience of September 11th, 2001. I am Commander Doc Patterson. I'm Commander of the Southeast Iowa Regional Honor Guard. And we are at West Burlington Fire Department under the command of Chief Sean Ryan. At this time, we'd like everybody to stand and remove cover. All uniformed personnel in our military, you'll be called to attention to present arms. Choir, when you hear that word phrase, present arms, you can start the Star Spangled Banner, or band. So we have with us today the West Burlington High School Marching Band and the West Burlington High School Choir. Let's give them a round of applause.
Present. Ho! Uniformed personnel, hooray, Russ!
On September 10th, 2001, people were preparing for work the next day. Kids were getting ready for school. Some of you weren't even born then. I'm looking around. Yeah. And we were preparing for the day on September 11th. Little did we know that our country, our personal lives, and our professional lives would be changed. At this time, I'd like to bring up Chaplain John Delanos for our blessing.
Let us pray. Father God, thank you for bringing us together to remember and to honor those lost 18 years ago. We pray your blessing upon those who continue to serve and to those who support the public servants all around this resilient country. Bless the firefighters who leave their families every day to risk their lives, and pray, when I am called to duty, God, whenever flames may rage, give me the strength to save some life, whatever be its age. Help me to embrace a little child before it's too late, or some older person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and give best in me to guard my neighbor and protect his property. If according to your will I am to lose my life, please bless with your protecting hand my children and my wife. And all the firefighters said, Amen.
I'd like to bring up a personal friend. He's fire chief here at West Burlington. Sean and I have known each other for years. And when we started the Honor Guard, we got permission to call this home base. And we're very proud to be a member of this community as Honor Guardsmen and Sentinels. So at this time, I'd like to bring up Chief Sean Ryan. Please give him a round of applause.
Now I have to be nice to him, he says. I'm surprised he called me friend because I consider him my brother. I tried thinking of the words to put in for today. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for this turnout. From the community, from the area fire departments, to the school, everyone, our friends and family. West Burlington Fire Department is a volunteer organization that started in May of 1888. And we have served the community of West Burlington proudly and vigilantly every day as volunteers. Behind me is a symbol of today that the West Burlington firefighters put together in the last 24 hours. But this has been a making for many years in my mind. On the ground are 343 flags that represent the 343 firefighters that gave their lives that day trying to rescue trapped civilians within the two towers and on the grounds. Those 343 flags make up the two towers, the one to the north and the one to the south. I found it odd last night as we were assembling them and reviewing pictures to make sure we tried to get it as close as we could, that the south tower had a cross on the top of it. Now that might have been a radio antenna or it may have been a cross, but to us it was a symbol, and we made sure we included that on ours. On the ground in front of the two towers, spelled out in flags, is 343, representing 343 firefighters, the number that has been our war cry, if you would, since that day. That is made up of 200 flags, the 200 firefighters that have died of 9/11 related illnesses since that day. And every year, more and more pass away because of that. I mention that because every day firefighter puts his life on the line. Day and night, we're firefighters. But we're not the only ones who put our lives on the line. On that day, paramedics, police officers, people of all works and ages put their lives on that line. And they won't be coming home because of that. I posted on the West Burlington Fire Department page, never forget. That was the rally cry on 9/11/2001, is to never forget. We don't forget those who gave their lives for us so that we can enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy still to this day. But don't forget to let your loved ones know every day what they mean to you, because those who gave their lives that day, not only at the World Trade Center, but at the Pentagon and in Pennsylvania on those aircraft, never get to do that again. So I ask you on this day, on Patriots Day, It's not just about the public safety people, but it's about your family and your friends. Let them know what they mean to you. Thank you.
And I do stand corrected. He is my brother from another mother. So we start our day that morning, and at 7:46, our lives started to change. We thought it was kind of a fluke. We thought something weird was going on. And then we saw the size of the plane that hit the World Trade Center. And later on, a second one hit right before our eyes. And that's when we as Americans knew we were under attack. From that came the resiliency. Young men coming out of high school in 2001 joined our military to even the score with our adversary. American pride on September 12th was the strongest it had ever been in American history since the war where we were bombed at Pearl Harbor. A lot of young men and women gave the ultimate sacrifice in our military to defend our freedom. It's not free, and you should never take it for granted. Imagine being a New Yorker, going to work that day, kissing your family goodbye, and then things start to happen. And a lot of the emergency responders called home to find out what really was going on because they were getting sketchy information. Imagine later on into the incident, someone calling and said your husband perished when the towers collapsed, only to find out later on he was alive. We all were going through an emotional roller coaster. The younger generation of kids was trying to figure out what was going on. They didn't remember Pearl Harbor. That was a different generation. And so today, we are true patriots. We are proud Americans. And can't nobody take that away from us. After things settled down a little bit into the month of October, a gentleman named Lee Greenwood re-energized his song that he performed. And every event that emergency responders were at in our military, this song was performed. And now, the West Burlington Choir will perform for you now. God bless the USA. Let's give our high school students in both bands a round of applause. And at this time, I'd like to bring up our pipe major, who actually started this whole process with the dream of coming together. The giant flag that you see behind us hanging from the aerial was our project to West Burlington Fire Department when the chief said, boy, sure be nice to have one of those. And so we found the funds to get it. And the 4th of July, your celebration is the first time that it was officially flown during the pancake breakfast. This is very special that it's flying today. Our pipe major is a teacher. He has a second generation of pipers, his sons, who you'll hear from later. And he has a special tie to our keynote speaker from the New York Fire Department, John Grunwald.
Thank you for being here this morning. Rescue paramedic Joseph Fortis is a husband, father, and grandfather, as well as a member of the FDNY for 28 years. During his time, paramedic Fortis has received many honors and commendations, including, but not limited to, U.S. Ambassador to Poland, medal recipient for heroism, FDNY First Responder Award for Hurricane Sandy, FDNY Medal of Excellence, Tracy Allen Lee Award, Active Duty Medal for responding to Hurricane Katrina, 50 national and international EMS championships. He is a 6-time gold medal champion at the GEMS Games, and he received a European Pre-Hospital Save Award. Beyond this recognition that I just mentioned, Joe is also an EMS leader for the FDNY Competition Team USA, member of the USAR Search and Rescue Team, an instructor coordinator for the FDNY Bureau of Training, West Point Academy instructor for CMET classes, and the New York City Office of Medical Affairs Medical Control Paramedic. During his years of service with the FDNY, rescue paramedic Joseph Fortis has responded to over 60,000 911 calls and is credited with over 500 documented pre-hospital saves. Paramedic Fortis also has a couple other commendations, and they speak to the reason he is here today. Joe has earned the World Trade Center 2-star Presidential Citation for actions on 9/11, the Congressional Citation for heroism related to 9/11, the Survivor Medal, and the Unit of the Month Award. Joe is quoted as saying, I'll be working at the Trade Center site, which some are now calling Ground Zero. It will always be the World Trade Center to me, and not Ground Zero. This quote shows the powerful opinion of how Joe perceived the cleanup of 9/11. During and extending into the months after the cleanup operation of 9/11, Joe Fortis had to accomplish unthinkable, heroic acts. These acts included, but were not limited to, removing dead bodies whom looked more like a puzzle that needed to be reassembled than a human body. Days later, or at one point during his mission, he had lost contact with his shift partner and best friend until days later. Still working as a paramedic, Fortis travels to new places talking about his experience during 9/11. This is a brave man whose life has been impacted forever by 9/11. This is Joe Fortis.
Good morning, thank you. I would like to first thank all of you for joining to remember the tragic events of September 11, 2001. Can I all ask you to share a moment of silence with me, please, and bow your heads. Thank you. My name is Joe Fortis, and I am a New York City Fire Department paramedic, EMS instructor, and I've been a medic for over 28 years with the New York City Fire Department. To my wife, I thank you for all that you do and being by my side always. Without my family's love and support behind me, I would not be able to be here today. To my fellow brothers and sisters, I thank you for your support and the job that you do protecting those you serve, and I would like to give them a round of applause. The events of September 11, 2001 did not just affect the rescuers who responded on that day. That day affected our families and fellow New Yorkers, and I would like to acknowledge them for their support. The New York City Fire Department EMS Command responds to over 1.8 million calls annually. Every day, myself and members respond to 911 calls for help in New York City. Over the past 27 years, I responded to over 50,000 calls. It's an incredible number that I just can't imagine when I started as a rookie. Rest assured, whether you live in New York City or if you are just visiting, you will receive the highest pre-hospital care experience possible, and we will treat you like our family. This pledge extends across state lines by the members who serve in your areas and live in the beautiful state of Iowa. To ask to speak here by a group of my peers is an honor, and I would like to thank them again for inviting me here today. As John said, I have a FDNY World Trade Center Survival Medal and was in the initial wave of first responders on that tragic day. As we sat on that Sunday morning in our ambulance just waiting for another call, we heard the report of a plane crash not too far from where we were sitting. My partner and I looked at each other and we said, "Oh yeah, we're going." What a rush, whipping an ambulance through the streets of New York City for such a high priority job, we thought at first. This job would be a career of a lifetime, the job of a lifetime. Our wives called us and was saying to be careful and describing what they were saying on TV. People were jumping from buildings, and we were told, and as we wondered what was going on, what would cause these people in this dire circumstance to jump from a height that they knew that they would not survive. All my skills and trainings would come to play that day, and they were all going to be tested all at the same time. We entered a caravan of ambulances flying down the highway, each one of us jockeying to be the lead ambulance to roll up and be first on the scene of this call. The seriousness of this day's events and the people that we weren't going to be able to save became very relevant when we came came on the scene. Every day, under any circumstance, I believe we cheat death. As a paramedic, I believe we beat the Grim Reaper. We save patients in all types of situations. This was not going to be the story on this day. Along with my peers, we worked countless hours, shifts, and the days following the attacks. On September 11th, the tragic events that changed the world were centered around New York City. Thousands of people who casually left for work on that morning were unaware of the events that were to take place that day. Some would never return home to their family. As the terrorists worked to pull us apart, what they did with their actions is bring us together, to bring us closer together. The attack that day caused 2,996 people to die, and nearly 6,000 were injured. That toll included 265 people who were on the 4 planes, of which had no survivors, 125 from another plane, and that were lost at the Pentagon. On a clear, sunny Tuesday in late summer, terrorists boarded the hijacked the 4 planes. They carried out a coordinated attack against the World Trade Center, New York, the Pentagon, and Washington, D.C. After nearly a month of fires and heavy smoke, I had lost the hope of finding survivors, and the largest cleanup and the largest structures of North America began. Cops, firefighters, EMTs, our military, paramedics, all worked over 21 hours a day searching for possible survivors and recovering the remains of those who perished. It was an unbelievable experience. One of the worst things I had to do was the recovery. We needed to push on. We needed to show our resilience. We were Americans, and we will not show defeat. The work never stopped. It was a truly uplifting feeling to see everyone had our support. Seeing these fellow Americans holding signs and giving us water and food and cheering us on to continue the work that needed to be done was uplifting. I remember one day sitting in the back of Trinity Church, a small church that survived the collapse. I was being given a lunch bag and a drink after working the morgue detail for over 16 hours. I was so emotionally drained by that day's dark tasks. As I opened the bag, there was cards, notes, small angels that children had designed from all over the country, and somehow they had found their way to where I was. As my partner and I sat in the small pew, as we were dirty and tired, suddenly a violinist started to play from the New York City Philharmonic in this small church. It was the original church that George Washington and John Adams attended, and we sat there and said, wow, they sat in the same place now, and this small church was providing a place for us to regroup and provide the solace that we needed. As painful as these days were, I am proud to have been there, proud to have done the work that needed to be done. There is nowhere in the world I would rather be but at home with my family. But I felt compelled. I felt compelled to go back to New York City every day to try to search for those who had perished, to bring something home for their families to bury. The job was very real. The job was ever so present and dangerous. I couldn't wait to get home those days. And ribbons were tied to my ambulance. There were hugs that were more needed and were more special when I got home to my family. I was always very patriotic, but now the colors of red, white, and blue meant even more. When I hear our national anthem being played, it moves me even more. It makes me proud to say I am an American. It makes me proud to say I am a New York City Fire Department paramedic. It makes me proud to say I am a 911 survivor. We lost 343 members of the New York City Fire Department that day. And I would like to read you an end with a poem called The 343. Ask any firefighter, and he will say, and the brothers all agree, We know that day, and it won't go away. The day when we lost our 343. Where were you when the towers came down? The cry will be heard for years to come. Where were you when the Twin Towers fell and we realized our worst fears? An old man asked. The old man moved on and he found a young girl. He asked the same question of her. She answered so slowly, I don't know. I don't think I know. You see, I wasn't born yet, sir. But you ask any firefighter and he will know the day, the time, and the year. For those who help others, for those who fight smoke and fire and have no time for fear, we know that day, and it won't go away. It is the day we lost a heroic 343. I thank you. I would like to end at this time. I would like to invite Drew and Blair Grunwald up. Go on. Commander Keith Patterson, Doc, Honor Guard, please come up. I want to say thank you for your hospitality. This flag that you see is one of 343 flags that was flown in 2018 at the New York City Memorial World Trade Center site. It contains all the names of the heroes, first responders, NYPD, Port Authority members who made the ultimate sacrifice on that beautiful September 11th morning. Please cherish and accept my gift for you and your members to the Honor Guard and wear it proudly. Display it so all can see and read the names of those who have died. Thank you so much again, and from my family to yours, please accept this flag. Gentlemen, can you fold that flag?
The second generation of pipers from the Grunwald family. One of the things that our Honor Guard is charged with is to promote the protocols and the traditions of the United States flag. And if your group ever needs a speaker or even a class on how to fold the flag, we will come out and do that for you, and it's free. I did an event up in the Quad Cities, and one of the retired firefighters from Rock Island said, "Hey Doc, can you help me fold the flag?" And I looked at him. He looked me right in the eye and says, "I've never folded the American flag." So we got the retirees together and we did it together. And he goes, "You're not going to make fun or belittle?" I go, "No. That's something that I learned in 4th grade. And every time you fold that flag, and it's done the proper way, it shows the respect to every veteran and every active military person." Let's give Joe another round of applause. At this time, we're going to be bringing out some flowers. These flowers that are white symbolize the events that happened on September 11, 2001. At 7:46 this morning, we rang a bell, our time, for Flight 11 to hit the North Tower. At 8:03, Flight 175 hit the South Tower. 8:37, Flight 77 hit the Pentagon. 8:59, the South Tower collapses. 9:07, the last words on Flight 93, "Let's roll." We're last words spoken before that plane crashed in Pennsylvania. 9:28, the North Tower collapses. So each rose is for each moment in time on this day 18 years ago. But we also have a pink rose, because when we lose a firefighter at the National Fire Academy, the family is presented with a Patriot folded flag as well as a red rose. And today, members of our Honor Guard are going to present the pink rose to Joe's wife, a breast cancer survivor. Joe and Dawn, please come forward. The first thing that Joe told me when we got together yesterday, we spent some time in Alexis, Illinois, where they build fire trucks. And they got to experience what we call Lexus Pride. So we were driving 67 after we passed through Monmouth, and Joe thought the Pioneer sign and DeKalb sign was the name of the farmers that owned that field. And so I had to kind of give him a little country ag class. And then we had a wonderful time up in Alexis with our tour. And they were very impressed about the Midwest folk and the Midwestern hospitality. Well, there's a thing here in Iowa, and it's called We Want to Make You Feel Welcome and Never Forget Us. So at this time, our team members have some gifts for you. First off, Chief Ryan said, we need a banner for you guys when you come into our fire station for Pride. And so Sue's daughter, my fiance, makes flags because she saw the ones that were on the internet, and people who wanted a flag to pay tribute were paying an exorbitant cost. She decided to keep the costs down. And so inside the station, July 4th, flows our banner. And it has the stripes because we support our military in active events and funerals. Our brothers in blue, the police department and law enforcement. Our brothers in red, our fire service brothers and sisters. The white is our EMS personnel. And the gold is the newest stripe to be added, and that's our dispatchers. They're our first line of communication. The two black stripes, it does say West Burlington Fire Department, our home base, and the very bottom stripe, Southeast Iowa Regional Fire Honor Guard. Sue, would you present that to them, please? That's how we do things in Iowa, big. All right. Eric Moe and Miss Sperry. Eric and Moe. Eric is our deputy commander. His beautiful wife Moe is our treasurer secretary. And with us is Miss Sperry. Her father is one of the members of our team. And she sent me an email and said, I need to do some community hours. So he said, be here on this date, put you to work. And she's done a fantastic job. Give her a hand. Now, when we planned this little experience, one of our members spoke up and said, I want to do mugs. And I said, okay, I don't know anything about mugs. Well, they're gonna be big Iowa mugs. So you can keep stuff hot or cold. And then she came to me with a design and I said, make it so. And she did. So we'd like to present you, Joe, with your own personal mug and a tribute to September 11th. And Dawn, as a breast cancer survivor, I believe it was 6 months ago, she started her own foundation. And if you'd like more information, after we're done with the ceremony, we'll be serving cookies inside the training room, and you're welcome to join us and talk and get some photos with Joe. They got decals that we had designed. It looks like a heartbeat with the EMS cross and a fire helmet. West Burlington is presenting them with t-shirts and their patch. The green one is the shirt that they wear to football games to show pride in the community and support our young people. Blair. Blair is presenting the Iowa Memorial Challenge coin that was minted this year in Coralville, Iowa. And now the best thing. When they arrived and we had what we call a family gathering, get together for dinner on the 9th. And we met down at the Drake and had a fellowship, which is one of the things that's required to be in an honor guard, because we work hard and we strive to play hard. And we opened the evening up with a special meeting to make Joe and Dawn both honorary members of the Southeast Iowa Regional Fire Honor Guard. So we have being presented their certificates by our Secretary Treasurer, and they will get their patches later. And you can take the New York one off and put ours on there. We're okay with it. And if the commissioner's got a problem, have him call me so he can talk to Eric. We also have a member of our team whose company makes signs. And this is one of the most recent ones. And we like to present this to Joe and Dawn both. Anything else you need, Joe? Get your car, get your real truck, because we have real trucks in Iowa. Go to the big truck, there you go. All right, everybody can retreat now. Two special things take place at every memorial and celebration of life for our emergency responders. One's the ringing of the bell, and you're going to get an explanation of that, and the bell ceremony. Today we will be ringing 4 5s, which is the tradition that came from New York City. And a lot of people here, different departments do different things. 4 3s came from the United States Navy into the fire service, because a lot of naval firefighters joined the fire service. But today we are going to follow the tradition of the New York City Fire Department, or FDNY. At this time, I'm going to ask Sharon and John to come up and prepare for the bell ceremony.
than ever before. We are forced to continually change our strategies and our tactics to accomplish our task. Our methods may change, but our goals remain the same as they were in the past, to save lives and to protect property, sometimes at a terrible cost. This is what we do. This is our profession. This is the tradition of a firefighter. The fire service of today is ever-changing, steeped in tradition, 200 years old. One such tradition is the sound of the bell. In the past, as firefighters began their tour of duty, it was the bell that signaled the beginning of the day shift. Throughout the day and night, each alarm was sounded by the bell, which summoned these brave souls to fight fires and to place their lives in jeopardy for the good of their fellow citizen. And when the fire was out and the alarm had come to an end, it was the bell that signaled to all the completion of that call. When a firefighter died in the line of duty, paying the supreme sacrifice, it was the mournful toll of the bell that solemnly announced a comrade's passing. We utilize these traditions as symbols, which reflect honor and respect on those who have given so much and who have served so well. To symbolize the devotion that these brave souls had for their duty, a special signal of 4 rings 5 times. Each represents the end of the comrades' duties and that they were returning to quarters. And so, to those who have selfishly given their lives for the good of their fellow man, their tasks completed, their duties well done, to our comrades, their last alarm, they are going home.
Honor Guard detail, firefighters, military, hot cat, hook! Freeze it! Halt! Order. Halt! Halt, Major! Honor Guard, ceremonial salute and hold. Freeze it. Halt. Lifers! Amazing grace!
Before we go, I want to recognize our brothers and sisters that came here today that are not part of our West Burlington family. So if you would, call out guests who came today from another department. Starting back over here. Birmingham. Couldn't hear that one. Libertyville Fire Department.
Jake Krebs, Blandonsville Fire Department.
Blandonsville.
John Crouch, Yarmouth Fire.
Yarmouth.
Scott Rogers, Danville.
Scott Rogers, Danville.
Brad Cruz, Winfield.
Winfield.
Mediapolis.
Mediapolis. Burlington. And we have looks like a Marine hiding back there. Would you please come forward, sir? Oh, we got a couple. Awesome. The camouflage screwed me up with the fire truck there. I didn't see the other one. Ladies and gentlemen, these people will keep us free as long as we keep their families safe. That's the deal I make with every military personnel representing every firefighter. Would you tell us who you are? Gunny Sergeant Gamboa, local recruiter, United States Marine Corps, Semper Fi.
Lieutenant Colonel Eric Schilling, the commander of the Iowa Ammunition Plant.
Commander Schilling. We got some big shots here today. Come to West Burlington to hang out. Thank you for your service, and I hope every day is a great day for you.
Got one more?
Where? Oh! First Sergeant Jesse Howard, Iowa National Guard. Let's give him a round of applause. I always encourage people that when our military are around, get a photo with them, because you're getting a picture of history. And when we say American pride, here's a prime example of it. So when you come in to enjoy the refreshments, ask to take photos with any of us, because that's what today's all about. Again, thank you, gentlemen, for your service. At this time, we want to bring up our chaplain for the official blessing to finish our day.
Let us pray. And may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.
Today is more than just remembering. It's making a difference in getting someone to smile today, because you don't know what they went through on this day, or their family went through. So if you would, if you're at a restaurant, leave $1 for the next person. We call that paying it forward. If you see an emergency responder or a military person, pick up their meal. Patriots Day means we're ready and we're resilient. No matter what you try, you're never going to win. And the adversary found that out after September 11th. So today is a day of remembrance, a day of resiliency, and a day of reflection. May everyone have a very special day today. God bless you, and thank you for being here to support us.
Detail. Dismiss.
Everyone have a wonderful day.